In this video, I'm going to be discussing with you how to have synchronous conversations with your colleagues or with students or with parents using the Conferences application within Schoology. The best part about this is it is streamlined within Schoology and it is mobile friendly. So if you have someone you need to contact, but they only have access to their cell phone, they can access it through their Schoology app. So if I go down on the left-hand side here to Conferences, this is accessing that application. I've already created the conference for today, but if I had not created it yet, I'm going to click on Create New Conference. I'm going to give it a name. I can give it a start time and click Create. It only takes 30 seconds. The goal here is to be as efficient as possible so that we can focus instead on connections and making a difference with this conference. Once we've already had this set up, we're going to click on Start Conference. Now, you'll notice they can log in as well. They don't need to wait for me. Once they've logged in, it'll show them that there's one person missing, and they'll wait for me on that point, and then once I've logged in, they're going to be there too. Of course, there's no one here because it's just you and I, and you're just watching the video. So I can choose to either access it through a microphone, or I can just listen only if I'm coming in as an observer. In my situation, I do want the microphone because I'm going to be talking, but I'm going to put listen only because otherwise we're going to get some feedback since I'm also talking to you right now. You'll notice up here we have different options. We can disable the audio. We can also start a webcam, in which case you'd be able to see my wonderful face. I'm going to spare you that detail. Although I will show you this much. If you have multiple webcams, it'll access both of them. And you can also use the screen share, which will share the screen, your screen, with the rest of the group. I'm just going to do a quick go around to show you the rest of the materials. Over here is the option to record, which is, as with all things with Schoology, it's always nice to be able to track things and be able to demonstrate that things have occurred. You've also got the opportunity for shortcut keys. And what this will do is it'll open a window that shows you how you can do things relatively quickly. Not necessary at this point, but as you get more familiar with conferencing, you'll find that this is very useful. And over here, you can just log out. So if I go over here to this window, this is a list of the users. This is a list of who's on and what type of access they have. I can go in here, though, and I can mute all the users. I can mute all the users except for me because I'm presenting. I can lock the viewers, which means I can show them that here you are and this is what you see, but you can't do anything about it. And I can also create breakout rooms. So if I'm having a conference with multiple people and I want them to have side conferences and then come back, I can facilitate breakout rooms in that regard. Here are the webcams. This is where you get to see everyone's face. Over here is the presentation itself. You'll notice this is the introductory stuff, but I can go ahead and I can delete it, or I can add extra things of my own. If I want to upload a presentation, I can do so here. If I want to start a poll, so let's say I want to begin this conversation with a poll. I went over to the second page, by the way, to get rid of the other materials there. And I want to create a true-false poll. I can do so here. If you're working specifically with students, though, or with students' families, you might not have a poll. You might want to share some information with them. So I might go here and I say, well, I want to talk to you about your students' work. So here I can add my file, they download the file, and they can look at it that way. Or as you saw before, I could share my screen. The last thing I want to show you really quick is down here. I can have multiple different layouts. I can restructure this any way I wish. And I have a text chat as well. So you saw over on the left-hand side, there's a webcam and there's an opportunity to control the audio. In the middle, you've got presentations, which includes the ability to upload files and also to share your screen. And then also you've got here a chat client where you can talk to people via chat. In all these opportunities, the goal is to make the conferencing as efficient as possible So I would advise that you take a look at it and familiarize yourself with a conferencing application before you use it. But more importantly, it's designed to be a facilitation of effective practice or effective instructional practice, or in this case, communication practice. So it's important not to get caught up in the technology, but instead to use the technology to facilitate greater communication. If in your first experience you need some assistance, check in with your ITTS. Your ITTS at your building would be happy to walk you through that process and to familiarize you with the conferencing application.